Welcome back to Houston Life. Houston-based actress Amelia Rico has been on hit shows like Grey's Anatomy, Yellowstone, and now AMC's Dark Winds, which is streaming on Netflix.
She is a force when it comes to diverse representation in Hollywood, and this role has her playing a fearless mother alongside a mostly indigenous cast and crew. Amelia joins us now with more on the series set in the 1970s Southwest. And the series, if you haven't taken a look, I mean, we don't want to spoil anything. This is a pretty intense storyline and an intense role for you. You are a mother in real life. You have a 6-year-old son, an 11-year-old daughter. And so how much of that motherly instinct came into play?
Oh, definitely a whole lot. The way I approached my character, because I don't want to say too much about it, but you always want to, see the humanity in your character at all times, or else, what's the point in playing them? So I did really have to approach her as a mother who's just doing the best she can, the best she knows how, in the circumstances that she's given, and she needs to protect her children. A lot of the times back then, one of the things that's covered is reservation. On the reservation, sometimes they had residential schools. They would take the children to residential schools away from their families. And, I just approached it as, I want to make sure they're not trying to take my child away to a residential school. Though we'll find later, if you watch the series, there's a little more insidious reasons why she's so unapproachable.
She's a tiger mama.
She is.
It's intense. And, I see you and you're smiley and you're so, likable and just friendly in person. But, to me, I feel like actors and actresses are watching you and you're living their dream. You're living their dream working on a show like this. But for you, it's a lot deeper than that, right? It's a lot more important. What is your major why for wanting to bring representation to the indigenous community?
Definitely. As a young child, I always wanted to see myself represented on television. And, the closest I got was, of course, many of you will remember Slater on, that show, Saved by the Bell. And so that was really my, I want to be like him. Like, if he can do it, he's from San Antonio too, just like I am. So he was a big inspiration, Jesse Borrego. But there weren't a whole lot of females that looked like me at that time. Later on came Salma Hayek and other actresses, Penelope Cruz. But I really wanted to not only represent my Latino roots, but also my indigenous roots, because that's really important for me to showcase that, a lot of us who have ancestry in Mexico, have ancestry here in South Texas, have indigenous roots. And I wanted to showcase that and really, show the diversity of the Latino community.
It is critically important, and it is so long overdue when you trace back roles in Hollywood even just a decade ago, a few decades ago. It is interesting how, we're catching up. There's still a long way to go, but Hollywood should look like the fabric of our country. So thank you for the work that you do. Grey's Anatomy, Dark Winds. Some of these huge, huge shows, these are big breaks for you, but I feel like, Amelia, your career really underscores that there is no point for any creative person when they've just arrived, right? You are known as an actress. You're also a director, producer, writer, various mediums. You've worked in film, television, theater. And this is something, there's Harrison Ford right there on your screen. Some of the biggest names in Hollywood you have rubbed elbows with, and you are constantly evolving. Do you think that that is one of the keys to your success?
Oh, yes, definitely. I've always been like a no backup gal. Like, since I was 5 years old and my mom found me crying in front of the mirror, like asking what was I doing, I'm practicing crying, because that was already, ingrained in me that this is where I wanted to go. And I wanted to show stories and I wanted to, be a storyteller my whole life. So there was really no backup plan. I came to Houston to study at U of H. Acting, directing, and when I found little opportunity in the theater space, I moved to film and TV. I was able to really expand my career in film and TV, and then go back to theater, which was one of my loves as well, and really change things up and create diversity in spaces where I felt previously unwelcomed. Wow. So that's been a really huge momentum for me in my career. It's just changing where I can and uplifting others where I can and opening doors, and leaving it open behind me so that others can come in also. So.
Not everyone's like that in Hollywood.
Oh,
Not everyone's like that in this space.
In any industry.
Truly, which kind of brings me to my next question. Like, why is it so important? Because you are also a coach. You are a mentor. How is that going for you, and why do you do that?
Yeah, I started coaching. It's something that I've been wanting to do for such a long time, and I've just always felt like, oh, can I? Will people want to, learn from me? And eventually, I started getting all these accolades, and I started thinking, I think there's a lot that I have to give, a lot of information that I can give new actors, especially that are starting out, even actors that have been sort of spinning their wheels and not really knowing what it was that they needed to like move on to that next step. I give a lot of information. It's not just acting training, which yes we do. I also give a lot of information when it comes to SAG, what that means.
The union,
agents, how to get your branding, how to get yourself sellable, because you are a business. This is your business. Like Amelia Rico is my business. I'm CEO of Amelia Rico, right? .com. That's the website. So I want people to understand that this is something that you kind of have to get from the ground up, and in order to move forward, you have to really know who you are authentically, and that's really where I come in.
Well, we're proud of you, Amelia Rico. It's great to see you. And the coaching is so critical because a lot of people have natural talent, but like you said, you can be a coach, mentor, explain to people what it's like to be on an actual film set. So in the meantime, if you are interested in Amelia's acting classes, Thursdays in Rice Village, Sundays online, we have provided a link on our website, HoustonLife.tv. There is a discount code, HL2024. You can get $25 off your very first month. So we'll see you again. I hope your kids follow in your footsteps too.
Oh, well, there's maybe I'll come back later and we'll find out a little something about that.
Really?
I love a tease.
Okay.
I love a good tease. Amelia, it's so good to talk to you.
Great
Thanks
talking
again.
to you.
Thanks again.